The Rise and Shine podcast series is made possible by the generous support of Bonnie Vozar of Chicago, Illinois.
Man comes from the darkness of the not yet and proceeds to the darkness of the no more. And while it's difficult to imagine the not yet, it is more difficult still to picture the no more.
This is Rise and Shine, a podcast that offers timeless wisdom and uplifting meditations to fill your heart, feed your soul, and start your day on a positive note. Here is Adrienne Gold-Davis.
In the last few weeks, some people who are really dear to me have lost their beloved spouses. And the pain of it's just unbearable. It's as though half of their souls were torn away from them. I remember C.S. Lewis, the writer, famously saying that no one ever told me that grief felt so much like fear. You see, this fear, it arises from the panic of sudden separation, the anxiety of facing the future by yourself, the loss of the secure attachment that someone always had your back. So, of course, I've tried to be there as best as I can, out of love and friendship, of course, and compassion, but given how involved I am with Jewish ritual life, it's to me that many of the questions are asked, sometimes out of true wonder and interest and a desire to understand, and other times with people rolling their eyes. And so I try to hold back from answering those questions right on the spot. I prefer to wait because I read once a piece of brilliant wisdom in Pirkei Avot, which is the ethics of our fathers, which I think is helpful for all of us. And in it, Rabbi Shimon ben Eliezer says, "Do not try to appease your friend during his hour of anger, nor comfort him at the hour while his dead still lies before him." So for me, this says that at a moment of great pain or rage or terror, it's not a time for words of philosophy, and especially not religious ones. Those moments, they call for silence, until you're invited to speak, which is why we're not meant to speak at a Shiva until the mourner starts to engage us. You see, a person often will try to staunch their wounds, their agony, with clarity. And that's something that's very rarely available. And it doesn't stop the pain. It's as though you go to your dentist with a toothache and you're told, well, there's a deep cavity in your molar. Knowing that doesn't stop the pain. Only filling the cavity stops the pain. But when we're in emotional agony, we might try and fill that cavity with information. But the information doesn't stop pain. Pain abates, yes. But that hole, it never disappears. Okay, the space around it grows wider and wider, so you have room to navigate your life around it. But the question that I hear the most is this one: where is he or she now? And it seems to me that many of us have no real spiritual understanding of what happens when we die through the Jewish lens. I mean, obviously, there's the ubiquitous Christian concepts of heaven or hell, and there's the scientific conclusion that you go into the grave and, spoken coarsely or not, sorry, you just rot. And neither of these answers are the Jewish way. You know, the compassionate Rabbi Maurice Lamb, whose book, The Jewish Way in Death and Mourning, has been a staple since the 1960s. In it, he writes this parable. It was created by an Israeli rabbi, the late Y.M. Tukachinsky. I'm going to read it to you now. For me, it was groundbreaking. Okay, here I go. Imagine twins growing peacefully in the warmth of the womb. Their mouths are closed, and they're being fed via the navel. Their lives are serene. The whole world to these brothers is the interior of the womb. Who could conceive anything larger, better, more comfortable? They begin to wonder. We're getting lower and lower. Surely if this continues, we're going to exit one day. What will happen after we exit? Now, the first infant is a believer. He's heir to a religious tradition that tells him there's going to be a new life after this wet, warm existence of the womb. A strange belief, seemingly without foundation, but one to which he holds fast. Now, the second infant is a complete skeptic. Stories don't deceive him. He believes only in that which he can demonstrate or have demonstrated. He's enlightened, and he tolerates no idle conjecture. What is not within one's own experience can have no basis, he thinks, in one's imagination. So says the faithful brother, after our death here, there'll be a new and great world. We're going to eat through our mouths. We'll see great distances. We're going to hear through those ears on the sides of our head. Why? Our feet are going to be straightened. Our heads will be up and free rather than down and boxed in. And the skeptic replies, nonsense. You're straining your imagination again. There's no foundation for this belief. It's only your survival instinct, an elaborate defense mechanism, a historically conditioned subterfuge. You're looking for something to calm your fear of death. There's only this world. There is no world to come. Well then, asked the first, what do you say it'll be like? The second brother snappily replies with all the assurance of the slightly knowledgeable, we'll go with a bang. Our world will collapse. We'll sink into oblivion. No more, nothing, black void, end to consciousness, forgotten. This may not be a comforting thought, but it's a logical one. Suddenly, the water inside the womb bursts. The womb convulses, upheaval, turmoil, writhing, everything lets loose, and then a mysterious pounding, a crushing, staccato pounding, faster, faster, lower, lower. And the believing brother exits, tearing himself from the womb. He falls outward. And the second brother screams, startled by this accident befallen his brother. He moans and bewails this tragedy, the death of a perfectly fine fellow. Why didn't he take care? Why did he fall into that terrible abyss? As he thus laments, he hears a head-splitting cry and a great tumult from the black abyss, and he trembles. Oh my, what a horrible end, as I predicted. Meanwhile, as the skeptic brother mourns, his dead brother has been born into the new world. The head-splitting cry is a sign of health and vigor, and the tumult is really a chorus of Mazel Tov sounded by the waiting family, thanking God for the birth of a healthy son. Indeed, in the words of a contemporary thinker, man comes from the darkness of the not yet and proceeds to the darkness of the no more. And while it's difficult to imagine the not yet, it is more difficult still to picture the no more. As we separate and die from the womb only to be born to life, so we separate and die from our world, only to be reborn to life eternal. The exit from the womb is the birth of the body. The exit from the body is the birth of the soul. As the womb requires a gestation period of 9 months, the world requires a residence of 70 or 80 years. As the womb is a prostor, an anteroom preparatory to life, so our present existence is a prostor, an anteroom to the world beyond. I can't tell you how many times I've read that over. It moves me really deeply, and it can begin to lay a pathway to real study, to understand the Jewish model. There's some books that I really recommend. I would suggest Remember My Soul by Lori Palatnik, and it's also available on Spotify or Apple or wherever you get your podcast in an audio format, and of course you can get it on Amazon. Another, From One Life to the Next Life, The Sacred Passage After Death by Lisa Felder is another superb place to begin. My friends, may we never know this kind of loss, whether sudden or expected. It seems to make no difference. May we live long, healthy lives. May we remember that we are souls having a physical journey, and that our soul is our primary identity, and that it is never, ever truly gone. And may we remember that our existence is a prostor, an anteroom preparation to the next world. This week, seek out someone who has experienced a great loss and visit them. You don't have to say anything wise. You don't need to know the magic words to make them heal. Just love them and share a book with them if they start to ask questions. May the space around that hole grow wider and wider as the time passes. And may we help fill that space with love.
Thanks for listening to Rise and Shine. Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe to Momentum Podcasts on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Join Adrienne again next time for more timeless wisdom and uplifting meditations that fill your heart, feed your soul, and start your day on a positive note.
This podcast was made possible by the generous support of Bonnie Vozar of Chicago, Illinois. Spread the wisdom. Inspire Jewish individuals around the globe by supporting Momentum's podcasts. To sponsor, contact podcast@momentumunlimited.org. You're listening to a Momentum podcast. For unlimited inspiration, wisdom, and empowerment, visit momentumunlimited.org.